I moved to a quiet suburban neighborhood, hoping for a peaceful life. My name is Charlie, 26 years old. I had recently been through a lot, and I really needed a break. I found the community on a whim. It seemed like the perfect place, with well-kept lawns and friendly neighbors. But there was one neighbor that sent shivers down my spine from the very beginning. A menacing dog that roamed the streets, a black shadow with eyes that gleamed like red-hot embers. People called it Black Fang, and its reputation was well-deserved. It was rumored to have a dark history, having been involved in a series of mysterious disappearances and accidents. I heard the tales from my new neighbors, but I didn't take them seriously at first. After all, I was skeptical about the supernatural. One evening, as I was taking a leisurely walk through the neighborhood, I saw Black Fang lurking in the distance. Its presence was suffocating, and a chill ran down my spine. I quickened my pace, but the dog followed me, always maintaining a distance. The streets grew eerily silent, as if the world was holding its breath. I reached my house and hurried inside, locking the door behind me. But I couldn't shake the feeling that those fiery eyes were still watching me. That night, I couldn't sleep, haunted by the relentless gaze that seemed to pierce through my walls. As days turned into weeks, my anxiety deepened. I decided to investigate the dog's history, hoping to find some logical explanation for its eerie presence. I discovered that Black Fang was once a pet of an elderly couple who lived in the neighborhood. The couple had passed away under mysterious circumstances, leaving the dog abandoned and vengeful. The more I delved into the dog's history, the more unsettling the stories became. It was said that Black Fang had been involved in a series of fatal accidents, always at the scene when tragedy struck. Witnesses claimed it had supernatural abilities, able to manipulate reality itself to cause harm. Determined to prove the rumors wrong, I set up a camera outside my window one night, hoping to capture evidence of Black Fang's malevolent actions. It didn't take long for the dog to appear, circling my house like a dark spirit. As I watched the footage, my heart sank. The dog's eyes seemed to glow brighter, and I could hear it snarl menacingly. My investigation had only deepened the mystery, and I was growing increasingly paranoid. I rarely left my home, always fearing that Black Fang would cross my path. I couldn't shake the feeling that it was closing in on me, waiting for the right moment to strike. Then, one fateful night, as I lay awake in bed, I heard the sound of claws scraping against my front door. My heart raced as the door creaked open, revealing the menacing silhouette of Black Fang. Its fiery eyes locked onto mine, and I felt an evil force wash over me. The last thing I remember was the sound of growling and snarling as Black Fang closed in, its intentions clear. I woke up in the local hospital days later, surrounded by a few friends and my family, who had hurriedly flew into town after finding out what had happened. My friend Robbie was coming over to drop off some video games the night the ravenous canine had lunged at me, and when it saw him, he retreated back into the inky blackness of the night. If it weren't for my friend, I'd surely be dead. As I lay there in the hospital bed, the cool blue sheets covering my scars, I thought, I was just another victim of the monstrous neighborhood dog that had terrorized the once peaceful community. I hired a company to pack and move me out. I never returned to that house or the neighborhood again, knowing that if I did, Black Fang would finish the job he had set out to do. To this day, my sudden and quick disappearance from the house remains a mystery to my neighbors, as I kept silent about the terrifying attack that aimed to end my life. I just wanted to move on. The legend of Black Fang endures, a cautionary tale of the horrors that can lurk in the most unsuspecting places.
In an unassuming town, hidden amidst the trees, there lived a quiet, private man named Samuel. One gloomy evening, he purchased a group of 6 goldfish, their scales shimmering like fragments of sunlight. Among them, there was one that glowed with an iridescent brilliance, casting an almost otherworldly aura. As days passed, an eerie sense of foreboding settled over Samuel. One by one, the fish began to vanish, leaving only the most golden one behind. Its once petite frame now swelled, dominating the tank like an ancient leviathan confined in glass. Alarmed, Samuel rushed to the pet store, hoping to replenish his dwindling aquatic companions. He brought home a larger tank and 10 more fish, their tiny forms darting through the water. But by the dawn's first light, the tank was empty, save for the glistening behemoth that now ruled the new enclosure. Desperation began to grip Samuel's heart, with the oppressive atmosphere in his residence casting long, sinister shadows. The golden fish, now impossibly large, strained against the confines of its prison, its movements frenzied and unnatural. Strange, haunting sounds echoed through the apartment, filling the air with a perpetual chilling dissonance. As days passed, the fish still continued to grow still, filling the tank to its limits. Samuel's once serene home began to feel more unsettling, and the walls seemed to close in. At night, the iridescent goldfish would hurl itself against the sides of the tank, trying to jump out and escape, creating eerie, rhythmic thumping sounds that echoed through the apartment. Samuel grew increasingly frightened by the fish's rapid growth and strange behavior. He couldn't shake the feeling that the fish was malevolent, and its once captivating beauty had transformed into something sinister. Desperate to rid himself of this eerie presence, he decided to release the goldfish into a nearby pond, hoping a home in the wild would satisfy its frantic hunger. As he approached the pond, the glittering goldfish, now enormous, thrashed about in the container, making a series of guttural, unnatural noises. Its body seemed to pulsate with a fiery golden light, and its eyes locked onto Samuel's with a malevolent intensity. With a deep breath and trembling hands, Samuel released the cantankerous mammal into the murky water. As it touched the surface, a sudden, eerie silence fell over the pond. The iridescent goldfish, now a massive, grotesque creature, thrashed violently, its gold-tinged scales creating ripples that distorted the reflections of the moon on the water's surface. Samuel retreated, his heart pounding with fear, as the once beautiful goldfish transformed into a nightmarish presence. As he walked away from the pond, he couldn't shake the feeling that the fish's haunting eyes were still watching him, and the memory of its strange, chilling sounds haunted his dreams for nights to come. While his apartment never quite felt like home again, Samuel couldn't help but feel a sense of relief that the malevolent presence of the iridescent goldfish was finally gone. But he knew that some horrors, once unleashed, could never truly be forgotten.